In this next module, we take a look at the training basics that every beginner needs to know before hitting the gym. We'll be taking a look at correct footwear, technique, tempo and breathing, mind and muscle connection, warm-up and cool-down. As much as I love talking about and wearing bright trainers, this section covers the importance of correct footwear, which is very often overlooked. Now, it may come as a shock that the popular cushion-soled footwear for running, basketball or tennis is not always the best option when it comes to weightlifting. Soft-soled shoes are designed to absorb impact whilst running, jumping and shifting side to side. But when it comes to weight training, you need your feet to create a strong, stable base. This allows for heels and the midfoot to drive into the ground to make the glutes and hamstrings work more efficiently on movements such as squats and deadlifts. Wearing soft-soled shoes can cause issues such as rising up onto the toes, causing the body to lean forward, ankle instability and uneven weight distribution. Here are the 3 essentials to look out for when selecting correct footwear. Correct fit. Shoes should hug the foot and provide adequate support. The foot should not be constricted or move around too much. Hard, non-compressible shoes. They should provide a completely stable surface. Look for shoes with a hard and flat sole. Good traction. Shoes should keep the foot grounded during exercises to prevent any slipping and sliding. Here are the most popular choices of footwear that will help you get the most out of weight training. Chuck Taylors, also known as Converse. Plain and simple, old school Converses. Provide support for the foot and have a flat sole. Weightlifting shoes. For example, Reebok Nanos. Good for individuals who want to practice more Olympic-style lifting such as squats, clean and jerks and snatches. Weightlifting shoes have a raised sole with a rubber bottom. The raised heel makes it easier to achieve greater depth and keeps hips further forward. However, some lifts such as deadlifts may be difficult to perform in weightlifting shoes as they lean the body forward. Minimalist shoes, or Nike Free Runners for example. This type of footwear removes the thick insoles and arch support and feature a minimal sole. They are designed to allow for a high level of flexibility and support natural foot movement. Other examples are New Balance Minimus. No shoes at all, but please take care. The foot is an extremely complex part of the anatomy which features more than 100 muscles. Stuffing them into shoes all day can in some cases be bad for you. Always start slowly if training barefoot. Start with bodyweight movements before adding any weights. Technique, tempo and breathing. Technique. Before performing any exercise, you must learn how to do it correctly. This will help to prevent injuries and put the greatest amount of tension on the actual target muscle. Swinging and throwing weights around in the wrong way can wreak havoc on your joints and your muscles, so correct technique is essential for both muscular gains and physical health. Having poor technique is very common for beginners, so taking the time to learn correct form will pay off in the long run. Here are some examples of bad technique. Rounding the back during any bent over exercise, for example, deadlifts. Letting knees go past the toes when squatting, and using momentum on any cable machine, for example, hamstring curls. For every exercise, there is a correct starting point, a posture to maintain during lifting, and a correct ending position. These positions and postures involve the entire body and angles of certain joints, such as the positioning of your ankles and knees. As well as correct posture and joint angles, controlling the weight throughout the whole motion is critical. Using too much momentum will bring about bad technique. When learning a new exercise, start with lighter weight and maintain this for at least 2 workouts before you start adding any more. Tempo. There are two phases when completing an exercise: the concentric positive phase and the eccentric negative phase. The concentric phase is when you're pushing or pulling the weight away or towards you from the start position. The eccentric phase is when you are returning the weight to the start position. The speed at which you execute these phases is known as tempo. Using the correct tempo, typically the eccentric phase should be slower than the concentric phase. This helps to control technique and control muscle tension. The concentric phase can be executed in both an explosive or a controlled manner. Breathing. Oxygen is required to complete any weightlifting movement, so don't hold your breath during an exercise. Exhale on the concentric phase, lifting, pushing or pulling the weight. Inhale on the eccentric phase, returning the weight to the start position. Holding your breath can lead to lightheadedness, dizziness or even fainting. So keep calm and breathe deeply. The mind and muscle connection is very valuable when weightlifting. Mind and muscle connection will allow you to feel the muscle that is being worked. During an exercise, it helps to focus on and feel the target muscle. Even attempting to flex and squeeze it at the end of the movement will help create maximal tension. If your technique, tempo and breathing are not correct, it will be difficult to establish the mind and muscle connection. Using less weights and doing slower reps is the best way to create the connection. Here is an example of the mind and muscle connection. Warming up, stretching and cooling down. Warming up, cooling down and stretching properly are vital to your workout. Warming up before weight training helps to create blood flow to your muscles and lubricate your joints. Warming up also helps to prevent injury and perform better during a workout. An effective way to warm up is to do some light cardio for 5 to 10 minutes, followed by mobility stretches to help increase range of motion in the joints. Never stretch cold muscles. A cold muscle should never be stretched. Always warm up before any kind of stretching. Mobility stretching increases the range of motion in joints. The best time to start these stretches is after the initial light cardio warm-up. It is important that the stretch isn't too rigorous, as that can hinder strength and performance. Warming up the muscle fibres and increasing blood flow will allow the muscles to be more elastic and responsive, which will help to prevent strains and pulls. It is also essential in avoiding stiffness and cramps that can come with weight training. Cool down is another important part of each workout. An effective cool down helps aid prevention of excessive blood accumulation, which can cause lightheadedness and slower recovery. It can also help to reduce soreness and send much needed nutrients to stressed muscles. An example of an effective cool down would be gentle cardio for 5 to 10 minutes, followed by static stretches for each muscle group.